Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer. Welcome back to Farming Simulator 2017 and welcome back to Upton Farm. So it's first day of summer. I skipped ahead and I'll show you what I did off camera just to bring you up to speed. So let me see. I believe the end of the last episode, where'd it go? Right there. The end of the last episode we did field 3 with canola, drilled that. I went ahead and drilled field 9 off camera, and then I skipped day 9 of spring. We don't have any animals, so it's no problem to skip ahead. So now it's the first day of summer, and we've got grasses in the first growth stage, so we can spread a layer of fertilizer on this. This will be the second layer on field 29, 33, and our other grass fields around here. There's several of them that aren't marked. But at any rate, we'll be able to get that going. In fact, if I lost my cursor. There it is. Is it? Yeah, there it is. So we'll be able to get those fields. All right, 33, 29, where are the other ones? I believe this is an unmarked field here. This is an unmarked field here and here. And then these two big ones by the farm. We're not going to do all those today. We're going to focus on 29, 33, and this little sort of unmarked field here. And I believe there's another one, pardon me, right next to the pigs. Is it here? Well, at any rate, it's up there. Right there, between the pigs and the cows. So we're going to get another layer of fertilizer on them. It's going to be a long episode, so there's going to be kind of a long explanation for what our plan is today. We're going to go ahead and get fertilizer on those, and then we're going to mow them with the JCB. We got this trailing mower for the JCB. We brought that over. Every piece of equipment that we own, more or less, is over at the store right now. We're on the east side of the map today. So the JCB is going to mow. And then I got to thinking, and we're on the roof of the T7 right now. So let's hop down here. There we go. So here's our T7, and here's our forage wagon. But I got to thinking, right? We were going to gather up some grass with this little forage wagon here and take it up to the BGA and put it in the clamp. And then I got to thinking, that's not really silage. That's not really chaff. It's just grass. Wait while this plane goes over. There you go. That's not really chaff. That's just grass. So in order to do things right, let's go ahead and get a forage harvester instead of a loading wagon. So we got the little Lely. But then we really do have everything that we own over here today. And then I thought, we've got this little Heron trailer, and that's not really rigged for silage. In all fairness, that's a grain trailer. So we're going to need to do a little bit of shopping today. And figure out what we want to do about that. So, move this out of the way. And the T8, by the way, the T8 is going to tow the forage harvester. And the forage harvester, you know, you can hook a tipper behind it. So I thought the T8 made the most sense. Now, there is a Heron silage trailer, but you can't convert the two. They're different items. So we need to sell one and buy the other. We can't just take it up next to the toolbox and do it ourselves. So these are our Herons. So we would get this one. We just sold that one for what? 11,000 pounds. We'd buy this one for 18,000. So that's one option. And then the other is, in this save game, I think I may have too many trailers loaded, but I think I've got, yes, the Richard Weston. These are very nice trailers. So for just a little bit more, you want to go red? Yeah, we'll go red. And the big tires, spot lamps, light pack, galvanized wheel guard, 25. So that's a $7,000 delta. But it's a really nice trailer. So that's a possibility. Capacity is 34,000, And if we go with the, where'd it go? If we go with the Heron, right there, we're at 25,000. So I think the T8 can haul the Richard Weston. So let's just pull the trigger on this. And do we want to go? Red. Yeah, we'll go red. Big tires, all the goodies, sold. Right? So there's that. We're down to 60,000. Remember just a few episodes ago we were at seems to be a texture error in the trailer. So we will sell that. Right? Try it in the base color. That doesn't work. Nope. Texture error. Okay. That happens sometimes. So now I'm awfully curious about something, but I don't have time to explore right now. But I will sort it out off camera and we'll get that going. But we know this works. So we'll go with the Heron. Big wheels. Air brakes. Right. No texture error, and we saved ourselves a few thousand pounds. So that's one thing. We have 67,000 left. Now, the other thing I'm going to do is the reason we brought this over, right? We're not going to use this for loading chaff. Why did we bring it? Well, we're going to go ahead and buy animals. So for that, we're going to need to water them. Is it over here? It's over here. There it is. A little water tank, and we need a little trailer to put them in. So there's a Betamax. That's the only one. I thought I had more, but it doesn't matter. That'll work. 24,000. Not under low loaders. I could have sworn I had more. No. It's a mystery. So we'll go with the prices, man. The prices wipe you out. We did have, it was just a few episodes ago. We had 1.5 million pounds. And you think, what could you possibly do with 1.5 million pounds? Well, I'll do something with it. Okay. So that's the other thing we're going to do is after we get some fertilizer going, after we get some mowing going, we're going to pick up our first load of grass, take it up to the sheep, drop off the loading wagon, and then we're going to come back down here. We're going to bring the seed drill with us, but we're not going to bring the arms because we need to swap it out. Oh, it's on the other side. Oh. You know, I don't do this stuff off camera because I think this is half the fun of the game, is just figuring things out. Can I get under there? Maybe. Half the fun of the game is just figuring things out. So probably not the recommended course of action for our brand new but already used looking front tank, but you know what? It's only a game. So we'll carefully slide this a little ways out. And actually, we only need to slide it out far enough to get this thing out anyway. So, let's go spread some fert. Now, the reason I left the front loader on, well, two reasons, I guess. One reason is we're going to need it to lift the pallets over the broadcast spreader. Even though the broadcast spreader is on the tractor with the front loader, we can just drop the broadcast spreader and then flip around and use the front loader to lift the pallets up over so we can drop them in there. Or yeah, the contents, not the whole pallet. So we're going up to this little sort of lesser unmarked field. Now we're not going to do all the grass on this side of the map today. And the reason we're not is it's only first growth stage. So even with 2 coats of fertilizer, we're not going to get a ton of grass out of it. We'll get some. It'll do. But we won't get that much. So if we wait a few days, obviously we'll get more. Right. Zoom out a little bit. Okay. So I think that's the plan for right now. It could evolve. Definitely it could evolve. I think it's just me. I know some people will buy animals and then take food up to them later. That's never worked for me. I just feel like if you're going to have animals delivered or go buy them or whatever, you would want to have food and water in place for them when they arrive. So I like to have at least a load of grass, and for the sheep at least, a load of grass and some water in the trough for them when they get delivered. I keep saying when they get delivered. I typically do that, but today I am going to go and pick them up. And obviously, we're going to have to get a loan because you can't make much money with we have 30,000 pounds. Sheep, I believe, are 5,000 pounds a piece, so you can't do a lot with 6. So we will probably get maybe take out a 200,000 pound loan. You get 40. And we never got a harvester. I know. I think back to those days when we had 1.5 million. I said 1.5 million euro, 1.5 million pounds, and you think there's no way I can spend through this unless I just buy the most bizarre stuff. Buy things I don't even need. There's no way I can spend all this money. But here we are. We're down to 29,000 pounds. But that's, for me, that's another fun part of the game is, we've got 4 tractors and 2 of them are pretty small. The T6 and the JCB. JCB is not that small, but you know what I mean. They're not, it's not a Klaus Zarian or something. We've got 4 tractors. 2 of them are kind of small, and really that's it. We got a seed drill. We don't have a combine harvester yet. We certainly don't have a forage harvester yet. We've got the little trailed one, but we don't have, a big Krona or anything. So we really haven't gone crazy on equipment, and we've gone through almost 1.5 million pounds in about 9 days. And that is, well, if you've ever run a business, that's not too far from how it actually goes. Money really just disappears quickly when you're running a business, much more quickly than you'd want it to. Although, from that perspective, even if you're not running a business. Money disappears faster than you want it to. Right, so we're on the GPS. We'll knock this out, and then all three of these fields are sort of, they're not connected, but they're close together. So we'll hop from here, and then right around the corner. We'll hop in the JCB and do a couple quick fields. I'm not going to go crazy with the mowing. I want to keep the episodes interesting. Whoa. Very light in the front. Whoa. Easy, lad. Normally what I would do is, you can see the weather forecast is looking pretty good for the next few days. Actually, for the whole summer, it's looking pretty good. Normally what I would do is I can do the rest of this by eye, I think. I would bring the equipment over one piece at a time. So I would come over, now I can, whoa, I just fell out of my own tractor. I could add the final layer of fertilizer. Ah, there's your problem. Somehow, at some point, my broadcast spreader got lowered and was dragging on the ground. That'll do it. So normally I would come over and do one full evolution of all the fields over here, and then take that piece of equipment back. So because I can put the final layer of fertilizer on my wheat that I planted over here, I would most likely come over and spread fertilizer on all the fields over here that are ready to be fertilized. Then I would drive this little T6 back, swap out for the mower, come back and mow all the grass on this side of the map. Or potentially, if it's not going to rain, mow all the grass on the entire map, etc., etc. You get what I'm saying. But I don't know that you would want to watch 2 or 3 consecutive episodes of me fertilizing fields or mowing. So I'm going to try to mix it up a little bit, as you do. And we are still on 5x speed. So with no animals, you get a lot more latitude. You know, as far as what you can do and when you can skip days and that sort of thing. There's really not, you're not really restricted or limited in any way. Man, I'm losing my voice. It's just past midnight here. I've been up since about 6 a.m. and I think my voice may have just decided that's enough. Let me do another pass here and I'll have some tea. See if we can get another half hour out of it. Right. Now the other thing is, we've been, is it this map or Oakfield? Can't remember. At any rate, we don't have tram lines in the wheat that we planted on this side of the map, but it's just baby wheat right now. It's very tiny. And the game lets you, when crops are in their first or second growth stage, the game lets you just drive on them. It does not cause any damage. I don't know how I feel about that. That seems a little cheaty to me. So with the store being right here, and with the store having a shop, and I don't know. I mean, you know, I don't do the role play thing, but if we're going to be fully immersed, I would go ahead and say we probably own this store, because we've definitely taken over the parking lot. So, with the store being right here, and with the the store having a shop, we can go ahead and swap one of these. It could be either this or the JCB. We could go ahead and swap it over to row crop tires. So when we do spread fertilizer on the wheat fields that we have planted, that we're not crushing crop. Even though it wouldn't. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Right. I think we're ready to mow. Man, the reason I keep falling out, or the reason I keep pressing the button to leave the tractor, is I just got this new controller, and the buttons are so sensitive, which is a good thing. And that's kind of what I wanted. But the ABXY and the D-pad, extremely small amount of pressure required on the buttons. And for some reason, I guess I'm used to a little bit more delay, or for the buttons to be a little bit more slack almost, maybe? I don't know if I'm saying that right. But if I don't have my shoulder bumper down all the way, and my combo to start the engine is my right bumper and the X button. If I don't have my right bumper down all the way, like all the way, then I'm just pressing X, and X is the jump out of the tractor button. And that's no good. So, to mix things up and keep things interesting, here's what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm just going to go hit that little field between the cows and the pigs. And I'm just doing a little housekeeping right here. I'm going to go hit that little field with the mower and see. We'll just do that one, then we'll take the loading wagon up and see how much we get out of it. We don't need a lot for the sheep right now because there aren't going to be that many. So, am I saying that right? Yeah, I think that's right. We won't need a lot. We'll need maybe 2,000 or 3,000 liters of grass. So if I'm not going to fill that loading wagon. I'll put maybe at the most 4,000 or 5,000 liters in it from the small field, if there's even that much in the field, and take it up, drop it off to the sheep. Then, we may possibly, because it's 8 in the morning and there's no rain forecast, we may possibly leave that little pottinger in the sheep pasture, and we'll pick it up later today. And that will allow us to deadhead down here, and we'll put the animal trailer on the back, not the mower. That's not the mower. We'll put the animal trailer on the back, and we'll put the water tank on the front. There it is. Yeah. It's really late. Sneak through here. All right. We'll put the animal trailer on the back, probably of the T7. Beautiful. I'm going to have a sip of tea here. Let's see if I can get some voice back. Oh, beautiful. But then I'll offset that with some vape. Lovely. Right, here we go. And we've got plenty of fuel. Now, I'm always sort of at a not a loss. I guess you could say at a loss. When I jump into the first field with this offset trailing mower, I'm always, my first pass, trying to figure out, like, okay, how do I want to do this? And I believe if I don't, well, we'll figure it out when we get here. I know there are some trailing mowers that you don't have to unfold, or you don't have to offset them, I guess. So you can do your first pass, right? But this one, I believe, yeah. Okay, yep. So if I do that, I'm just going to drive ahead here a bit, and I think this may... Oh, another... No, that does something else. Okay. Right. So let's do one pass. We're not crushing any grass here because it's not tall enough yet. Let's do one pass clockwise, and then we'll offset it to the right, and I believe that will let us drive in our own tracks. Yep. Okay. You see what I'm getting at, right? We'll do one pass like this, and then we'll swing the mower out to the right, and essentially make another pass driving in this same track. It doesn't matter now because we're not crushing anything, but if we were in growth stage 2, then we would be. And to minimize the amount of grass that we crush, we would try to always be driving in an area that we had already mowed rather than over viable grass. Does that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. And then at some point we'll get a couple of headlands cut in and start doing lengths, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. All right. Does anybody else find grass to be the most relaxing part of this game? I could mow grass. Alright, now how far out do we want to swing this? All the way? Sure enough. Okay. Yeah, mowing grass. Before I played Farm Simulator 15 is when I jumped on the farm sim bandwagon. If you would have told me that I would be playing a video game where I mowed grass, I seriously would not have believed you. I would tell you there's no way. But yeah, my top of my list has got to be Farm Sim, ETS2, Truck Sim, and spin tires. Big fan of spin tires. Same thing. You know, driving a converted Russian missile hauler through mud at 1 kilometer an hour. I would not have believed that I would ever do that for fun, but brave new world, yo. Right. Making pretty good progress here. Now the other thing that we could have done, and I thought about it, but ultimately I decided not to do it. The other thing we could have done is we could have bought the Lely front mount, and I guess there's other ones too. There's I think a Pottinger front mount, and then I've got a mod, a Kuhn, and a couple others. So we could have got a front mounted mower, and then to the rear we would have the Lely forage harvester, the trail forage harvester, and then behind that we would have a tipper. But the idea of a single tractor, you know, with a mower up front and then one PTO out the front, one PTO out the back, and it just, at a certain point, it's like putting a baler behind a combine harvester. Like, technically you can, but that ain't cool. Right. I'm trying to think now. When I get done with this field, I'm trying to think. I will most likely drive the JCB back down toward the other fields, which is also the direction of the store. But more or less, park it by the fields and then run across the highway and grab the T6. And we'll gather up some grass. Well, this isn't too bad. Also, this is 3.8 meter cutting width, and I believe the Lely front mower, which is, I guess, the one I prefer, is I think 3.1 or 3.2 meters, and it's not, it's not like a quantum difference, but wider is better. The more you can do in one pass, the better. Ideally, we'll work our way up to the big butterfly mowers, where you got an 8 meter swath. But for now, this is where we're at. And I also don't know. I'm driving over my windrow here, and I'm not sure. I'm not sure which is worse. I'm not sure whether it's worse to drive over crop before you, crop in this case, grass. Is it worse to drive over grass before you harvest it, or is it worse to drive over windrow after you harvest it? Although, I mean, to be fair, we're sort of straddling the windrow right there, but when we get to the end, we drive over it, definitely. So, just one of those things, you can't avoid it. It's like driving on a field after you cultivate it. Sometimes you just end up doing it. But as little as possible. Alright, so this is going fairly quickly. It's a small field though, so like I said, I wouldn't expect you to sit here and watch me mow for an hour episode, 2 or 3 episodes in a row just mowing. We'll try to mix it up a little bit. Try to, But I don't know. I mean, I've seen everything from there's one YouTuber that just does time lapses of farming, hours and hours of farming, and he just time lapses it down to 15 or 20 minutes, and he's got a huge fan base. People love it, and then other people, very slow play, long play, 200 episodes with no time compression and no time lapses and no jump cuts. They just film every single day they're on the farm. So I guess there's an audience for everything. I mean, I know what I like to watch, and when I started doing these, I guess the whole point was, why don't I just make the kind of videos that I would like to watch? And so that's what I've been doing so far. But definitely not opposed to evolving the channel in any way, depending on what works and what doesn't. Mostly I just want to have some fun and do a little simulation video gaming, you know how that goes. Right. I joke a lot about being OCD, and I totally am. Fortunately, I'm OCD in kind of a fun, get things done way. I'm not, it's not debilitating or anything. So I joke about it when I joke about it. I'm not in any way making fun of people that it may be debilitating for them, but at the same time, I am OCD, so I get to joke about it. That's how that works. So I'm OCD about a lot of things, but I'm not. I don't get terribly hung up on, say for instance, mowing. I don't get hung up on mowing like every single millimeter of field. I know some people do, and that's totally cool, but I don't. So I think for me, how I, make sense of that is, I think of it as, for me, I guess one expression of my OCD is that I want to do things as realistically as possible. And I know in real life, you miss a little bit now and then. So I'm not necessarily, blowing it off. Like, it doesn't matter. I just know that realistically, you can't get every single, little tiny piece. You make yourself crazy. You get into diminishing returns, as they say. So for me, there's a reality component to what we're trying to do here, and I think realistically, farmers are not able to, and they get most of it for sure. Every meter of field, every square meter of field is money, but time is money too. So if you spend an hour doing something that makes you 20 pounds or 20 euros or 20 bucks or whatever, and you spend 50 on the time that it takes to do it, then that's not very cost effective. So I guess that's my my take on that. I don't necessarily need everything to be completely organized. I just love the idea of things being as realistic as possible. Right. I'm doing this all in real time, but I do have to say that time lapses of mowing grass are amazing. In real life and in video games. There's several, I guess, UK-based photographers that specialize in agricultural photography, and they do a lot of drone work, and it's really beautiful seeing that stuff from above, and just a totally different perspective. Right. So there is a field. Now we don't have a rake, and we're gonna have to borrow 200,000 pounds to get our sheep. Which might be a good opportunity to get a rake, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm just going to wing it with the loading wagon to start, and then the little forager. I mean, at some point we may have to, and well, we may have to right now. I'll see how that little field goes, and if it's just an absolute nightmare, then since we're taking out a loan anyway, I mean, we have 29,000 pounds right now, which is probably enough to buy a small rake. Not the smallest, because the tiny little, what is it, like 2 meter, 3 meter Pottinger? No thank you. Right. Okay. So now we're going to run over to the store, jump in the T7, go pick up some grass, and take it up to the sheep that we don't own yet. And I think I can maybe, oh dear, now I've done it. I think I can jump a fence. Here we go. Right. So, loading wagon. There we go. Yeah, I don't know who owns this store or what our relationship with them is, but clearly it's very good. I will go ahead and say we own that store. We own the whole town. We are Big Daddy. The Long Hot Summer. Come on, I'm not the only person that read that in high school. I'm Big Daddy. I own the whole valley. I own everything. Someday, son, all this will be yours. He didn't say that. Big Daddy didn't say that, but that would be a thing that you would say if you owned the whole valley, and if you had a son. Well, I guess you could say to a daughter. All right. Let's do a little. Let's do a little in cab. I think we could pick up grass in cab. Yeah, it's easy to see. Now, we've also got. Sure, I can show you. We've also got loading wagons. Where are they? There they are. We've also got. So we've got a mod Pottinger. We've got the 18,700 liter Pottinger. These two Lellys, way too big for what we'd be doing right now, but they are both, they're both great. I love them. And then we've also got this old forage wagon pack, I think. Yeah, and these are, I think that these are all just based on the Pottinger, but then they have, are they? Yeah, let's take a look. I think these are all just based on the Pottinger. But they also have, if you go over here, the pallets, we've also got, do we have enough pallets, do you think? What's his name again? Is it here? We've also got the blades and silage additive, but not for the, did I pass it already? No. We've got the blades and the silage additive for the other forage wagons, but not for the one that I'm using. Yeah, right there. So it didn't make sense to, you know, I considered, well, why don't we just buy a loading wagon that's a proper way to pick up grass and make it, you know, chaff, make it legit, make it like legit to dump in a silage clamp. And I just thought we'll do the Lely, and instead of trading it out for something that's sort of mechanically and visually identical to what we have with just a different kind of description in the store. Yeah, this is coming along pretty quickly. I'm guessing, well, we'll see what we get. I'm guessing we get 6,000 liters out of one headland, and this thing holds, what did we say, 18,000? So we can fill it with 3 times around, which means this field, we could probably go, you see what I'm getting at. There's at least 30,000 liters in here, maybe more. So I think we've got plenty of, we'll have plenty of grass, not just from this, but from, what did we say, 6,000 for the sheep? Yeah, let's do it. How are we still? All right. Okay. Up to the pasture, the sheep pasture. I know there's no traffic. It's just a good safety habit. All right. So we'll get this poured in, dumped into the trough, and then we'll get, wow, there is some kind of crazy noise coming from outside my hotel. So we will get this dumped into the trough, and then we will dump this loading wagon in the pasture. Not dump it, but you know what I mean. We'll leave it up there. We'll zip down the hill. We will drop off the weight. Yes. Yeah, we'll drop off the weight, pick up the animal trailer. You know what? I'm dumb. I should have brought the water with me this time, because now we're going to be driving like all the way across the map, all the way up to the animal dealer with those water tanks on the front. How do we feel about that? I feel alright. I feel alright. Alright. And I think I may have said this already. If I haven't, then I'll say it right now. The splashing mud, which I love, is disabled by the current iteration of it. Let's come at this from a different angle because it doesn't like it like that. Every time the lift gate swings open. There we go. Mo better. Okay, cool. So that took about 1,000 liters. Let's dump this down in the corner here. Out of the way. And something else. While we're up here, since I have to hop out to close this gate anyway, let me see what sheep are going for. 4,000. And how many does our little wagon that we got, how many does that hold? Does not say. Okay. What I'm getting at is I don't want to take out a 200,000 pound loan when we can only fit, let's say we fit 10 sheep in there. We can always borrow more or less money, right? But why have the extra debt when we're only, right? You get what I'm saying. So let's see, when we get to the animal dealer, we'll see how many animals we can fit in our trailer, in our wagon, and based on that, that's the amount that we will add to our loan every time. Yeah, I think that's what I'm getting at. And I have a feeling, where are the animals on this map? There it is. Yep. We can cut through. We can cut through the woods. Yeah, we'll figure this out. It's on the opposite side of the map, but it's right across from sort of the back entrance to our farm. It's down by field 3, and we cut through there. So yeah, there's a quicker way to get there than driving all the way across the map. Although it's close. It's definitely the other side of the map. We'll just try to beeline to it instead of. Right. I'm going to do this. Let's get this guy first. It's not that bad. It's not a great look. I think it's going to be inside the. Yeah, it's inside the, I guess, the boundary of the tires. So we're not the worst neighbor anybody's ever had. Make sure I don't hit the T8 here. Right. And then, what do we do? We're we're going to be back and forth with the buying more sheep, so I think I may just bring this back down here. Let's take a look on the map here. Yeah. So we will cut through the woods and then cut through the farm, and here's our animal dealer right here. Right. It'll make sense when we do it. And where is... I'm trying to think where water is on this map. I believe there's water on the farm. We'll take a look. We have to drive through it anyway. You know, I know there's water at the dairy farm, and we have to pass that anyway. So I'm just going to pull in at the dairy farm, and I don't even think we've been there yet. I mean, if you played this map yourself, you've been there. But if this is your first time seeing the map, you haven't seen the dairy farm yet. So we'll whip in there and get some water, and then make our way to the animal dealer. Although I guess we could, yeah, I mean, this is a T7. We could, no, we won't do that. I was thinking we could, drive up past the sheep farm and fill the trough and then drop the tank off, because the T7 I think can handle a 2-axle without lifting the front wheels. However, that would put us sort of out of position, and we would at that point then have to drive the rest of the way around the map rather than cutting across. Oh, so then you got to back up. There you go. Right. Okay. Yep. Can definitely feel the weight up front, which is weird because we've had great big weights on the front, but I don't know why it just feels like it's pulling the front end around differently. Yeah, we'll just do it this way. It's not that far. You know, it's the weird thing. I think I've said this before. You know, you play this game, and like this, you know, I wouldn't want to have to drive from one side of the map to the other. And then I think, what the hell's the difference? It's all farming. It's all just playing around on the farm. What's the difference? So I do like to be efficient. I do like to be realistic. But yeah, I mean, it's all just playing a video game anyway. What's the difference? Right. Here. Brake on. Beacon's on because we're poking out into the highway. Gate. There we go. Only on one side? Maybe. There it is. So, that took plenty. I'm going to drop this tank. I guess I'll drop it right next to the grass. I think that makes the most sense. Next to the grass in the loading wagon. Right. Yeah. Saw the front end come up a little bit, but hardly enough to matter. And with that animal wagon that we've got on being 2-axle, I'm sure it's gonna carry the weight. just fine. Beacons are still on. Right. Close the gate. Back in the T7. Here we go. So yeah, we will, and this will go quick, but we are going to kind of circumnavigate. If you look at this main road, it does snake around the entire map. It goes from the southeast to the north central to the northwest, and then back down again to the south central, and then finally to the west. So it's a pretty snaky road. And I guess what's weird is there are so many places on the map where, you know, as the crow flies, you're sort of relatively close to, or not close to, but like on the same part of the map as the place that you want to get to. But the only way to get to it is to make this long winding road, trip like around the map to get to a place that you're close to. There's some shortcuts. That one through the woods in the middle, I think, is the best one. There are others that, like, it looks like a shortcut till you cut it, and then you realize it's like not a shortcut at all. You just wasted your time. However, why are we loading scenery? I thought we had the whole map loaded. Skeptical. So we are still going to cut through the farm though, because that'll take a lot of time off. And we're loading scenery. That's very odd. Where's my turn? There it is. Unless there's something else going on. Oh, you know what? It's after 1 a.m. I wonder if my machine is doing maintenance or doing a defrag or a virus scan or something. I hope not. Or an update. Oh God, not a Windows update. Is it here? Yeah. The way that Lancyboi has these farm tracks set up, they're very easy to spot in the fall and winter, but he's got grass that grows up in them tall enough to the point you can sometimes hardly even spot it. Okay, yeah, we dropped down to, FPS dropped down to like the 30s, and we're back up to mid 50s to 60 to 70. Okay, good. I don't know what that was. I'm going to take a look after and hope it wasn't maintenance or something. I thought I had all that turned off, but we'll see. Oh, there you go. Canola's starting to sprout. Right. So out of here, I believe we go to the right. Yep. And then as far as where we go when we get in here. All right. That's right. There's pigs. See some cows back there. I see sheep. I think maybe. We are still going to have to do our loan here. Alright. So let's see. So take the lid off. You want to open this thing? There we go. Well, I guess I could do it with this. Nope, that's something else. There we go. Alright, just to be fully immersed in our immersion. Open animal dialogue. Holds 12. At first, we'll do 60K. Well, we've already got 30. Do we need to buy anything else? We need to buy the arms for the sprayer. but they are 2,500 a piece, so we'll need a total of, say, seven. Come back, 70. We've got 58, so 60, so 73. Okay. Then we open our animal dialogue. Sheep buy. Oh, now it says we hold 14. Huh. Okay, so we'll get 14 at 66, and that will leave enough to buy. Beautiful. So we come up there. And what does this do? Okay, this raises and lowers. So we can level it. Okay. Right. Put the cover back on. Beacons because we got live animals. And can we get out that way? No, we cannot. So then we'll continue backing up. But I don't know if we can cut it in a way that will let us get out of here. Turn that off. Don't need that. And I'm hoping I don't tail whip this thing into the awning. Oh, or Austin Powers myself between a warehouse and a shed. Come on. Oh, really? Come on now. Whew. Right. So back across the map. Okay. And I may, I'll do it off camera, but I may repeat the process with the sheeps, and if we can go 14 at a time, 14, 28, 42, probably 42, 18, 60. I don't know. We'll go mid 50s to 60 sheep. And get them making some wool. I mean, we're committed now. We've got to make money from silage. Because we're borrowing money and we still don't have a combine harvester. I'm really curious what happened with that Richard Weston. I have the trailer on other maps and it works just fine. So I'm not sure why that texture error showed up the way it did. What I'll do, last thing I'll do before we end the episode is I'll save game, and then I'll take some money out and do another one just to take a look at it, but then I'll sell it again and pay back that part of the loan, if that makes sense. I'm just curious, and I want you to see whether or not the other one works, or whether that texture error is across the board. I'm not sure why that would be in this. I mean, I'm thinking it might be a mod conflict because I have that same trailer pack in another map and it's working just fine. Thought it was. Yeah, I only have one, but we'll see. We'll take a look. Right. So I think when we get up here to the sheep, I guess I'd back this in. I mean, I think that would make the most sense, even backing in off a highway. There's that mirror again. Now, I'm starting to notice that mirror blacks out. We're far from any other tractor, but it seems to happen near the BGA for some reason, and I'm not sure what that's about. Yeah. This game is full of mystery and wonder. It's like every time you play it, you find a new problem to solve. You find a new, hootenanny. Whatever. It's a booty trap. You get the thing. Alright, so I'm going to drop these guys off. And I'm going to, let's see how I want to do this. I'm going to drop these guys off. Oh, I'm the worst neighbor. Somebody call the council. Right. Drop them off. Take the T7 that we're in down the hill. Park it. Hop in the T8. Hook up the forage harvester. Right. Lights off. No. Cover open. No. There we go. Ramp down. Unload. 14 sheep. There we are. Gate, right, down the hill. And then I believe that'll be a good place to call it after we get the first load of silage. First load of chaff. I say silage. It's not silage yet, it's chaff. But after we get the first load of chaff up to the clamp, I'll call it. And then we'll do that little quick test with the Richard Western, figure out what's going on there. And yeah, it's going to be a long episode. I think it's going to be, I know it'll be well over an hour. And then he just stopped talking right there. There was nothing came after that. He just said, I think it'll be well over an hour. And it sounded like something was going to come after that, but then nothing did. Just silence. As you do. Right. Trying to think what else. Yeah, we've got, yeah, this is all making sense. So we'll continue taking animals to the sheep pasture. Oh, right. I'm going to drop this off and, yeah, see? Remember the plan that I had? It's all shot in the ass. I was going to drop this off and then go get the seed drill and swap out the arms. But that didn't happen. That did not happen. Another frame rate drop right there, and my fans just kicked on, so I'm thinking some background process is happening because it's kind of it's not the middle of the night, but it's 1:30 in the morning. That's pretty late. At least as far as things like scheduled tasks on my laptop is concerned. All right. Get this parked up. Now the other thing is the trailed forage harvester. When you hook a tipper behind it, it definitely, I mean, there's a pretty significant offset. So I'm debating like how far. I joke about, you know, we own the valley or whatever, but I don't know how comfortable I would be hauling something offset this far around on public roads. And you'll see what I mean. It offsets pretty, I think, pretty dramatically when it gets the tipper behind it. Right. Okay. Definitely want some lights on now. There we go. The reason I wanted the T8 for this, realistically, is, well, I thought we'd have the other tipper, but this is going to be, what did we say, 36,000 liters of chaff. It's pretty heavy to pull up the hill to the BGA, so I think the T8 makes the most sense for this. And depending on how quickly this is going, I may, I'll go ahead and fill it. I'll fill it and take it up to the BGA. Weird FPS drops, FPS drops, yeah, right. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, this is all very exciting. So, unfold. Pipe out. There we go. Power on. It drops it automatically. Oh, that's hilarious. All that, I wouldn't say like all that effort, but it's still seeing it in the tipper as just as grass. Make sure I got all my settings right here. Type in. Yeah, that's it, man. Just grass. Oh, the irony. And I am going to, I'm on the wrong side of history here. I don't want to be driving over all my windrows. So, okay, well, you know what, live and learn. And I mean, it's a better look. We're going to be taking this up to the clamp, so it makes sense that we are using a silage tipper, and I think this is just a better look. I think it's a much more accurate, you know what I'm saying, much more realistic. It's a good look. I think, yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of this off camera. We need a rake. This is going to take a minute to do. We need to invest in a rake. Loan or not, this is just, and this is a small field too. I couldn't imagine doing this on a big field. So I'll go ahead and knock this out. I'll take it up to the BGA. We will tip it, and next episode, as we continue our, well, next episode, okay, let's talk about that. Next episode, we will buy another load of animals, buy another load of sheep, and we will go over and get the seed drill, and we'll get the soybeans planted. We'll get started, and we'll put that on a worker, and while the worker's doing that, we will mow and rake and pick up some grass / chaff and take it up to the BGA. So we'll have, next episode we'll have several things happening at once. We'll have one worker drilling, and I guess we could try to set it up so that we had a worker, no, that wouldn't work. We could set it up so we had, okay, we can do that. We can set it up with an offset so we have a worker following the rake in the T8 with the forage harvester. Okay, that's a possibility. Something to think about. So then we'd have me and 2 workers. So that's much more efficient. Wow, see, right there, I could hear equipment bending if I did that in real life. And I'm wondering now, as quick as this is going, I'm wondering if this whole field is going to fit in here. I think it is, and we may have to, we'll make our trip to the BGA today regardless, but we may need to make it not all the way full, which is not the end of the world. Try not to make that bend too sharp. Alright. Yeah, my frame rate is just all over the place. I think I definitely have something happening in the background. Probably a virus scan. One of those middle of the night things like they do. So then the next question is, what rake do we get? And I can't stop and look right now, but we're still a small farm, so it's going to have to be a small rake, just not the smallest one. And I think there's only 3, so if it's not the smallest one and it's not the biggest one, then it's got to be the can't remember the name of it, but I believe it's about a 8 meter, I want to say 8 or 9 meter, maybe. What's his name again? Yeah, I think this is definitely all going to fit in here with plenty of room left over. But I'll take it up the hill empty. Or not empty, but, you know, less than full. You know what I mean. I'm also going to try to neaten things up a little bit here so we don't have half rows going. Although I think some of that is inevitable as we get into the little triangle. You always end up with the triangle at the end if you've got a field that's anything less than rectangular. Oh, hate to turn it that tight. How we doing? Looking pretty good. So, yeah, I think this is making the most sense. Glad I did it this way. The idea of just taking grass up there, just dumping grass and having it magically turn into silage seemed a little, I don't know, just wasn't working for me. So even though, now the funny thing is, we came up with this elaborate workaround and we're still just going to take grass up there. But at least we did the extra, we know we did the extra due diligence, we did the extra work to try to make the result more accurate. And that's really what matters. That may or may not be true, I don't know. I'm also glad we hopped in the T8 for this. I mean the T7 I think would have been more than adequate as well, but both the T6 and the JCB I think would have been overwhelmed. And it just wouldn't have looked right. I have a gigantic trailer. Well, not gigantic. It's big though. It's a pretty big trailer. It's a big man. Alright. pretty good. I mean, it's not, what are we at? 75, it'll be, what, 80, 85%? It's not bad. Better take that turn a little wider. Don't feel like I'm just reaping that thing around in a tight little circle. All right. The other thing I have to remember is I have to remember where to turn to get to the VGA. And that sounds, I know it sounds kind of mental, like you just turn at the driveway, but I've driven past it, I don't know, 600-700 times. I just have some kind of a mental block where I can't remember where the turn is for the VGA. Alright. And I know I left my beacons on the whole time we were in this field. It happens. Right. So let me think how I want to do this. Put the pipe in. Perfect. How many sheep did we buy? 14. 14, yeah. Okay. Cool. I will, actually, I'm going to stop right here. Where's my tea? Oh, much better. And of course the vape. Fantastic. Yeah, feeling the weight. I think the T7 could have done it. There's that frame drop again. Oh, and as I say that, it starts skating all over. I think the T7 could have done it, but definitely not the, well, probably not the fast track, definitely not the T6. Especially, there's a little hill right up here that is, it's not very long, but it's got some steepness to it. It's got a good grade. Yeah, right there. Uh-huh. Okay. T7 or T8? I think we chose wisely. Right. Mini-map. And it's not the first one. It's not the second one. Every time. I'm telling you. Is it this one? Yes. That's what throws me because it's a gate. It's a gate that doesn't open. Okay. You know, I promised myself I wouldn't miss the turn again. Wait, what? Was that there the whole time? Did I just close the gate? Oh. Right. And you know what? I almost just turned into the wrong one after all that. Am I hung up? I sure am. Okay. I thought I cut that wide enough. I need to go in the hedge a little bit here. Well, now what's going on? Nope. Okay. So we are stuck? We're not stuck. We are stuck. We are stuck. Okay. Huh. Right. There's that. So I want to get out of here. So like that. And then like this. Right? Seems excessive. This seems... Man, you know what would be funny? If we get down to the end of this little lane and it's not the BGA. Oh, that would be hilarious. I think we're okay. Whew. Bone shaker right there. Where's the pit? There it is. Right. Now, is that really the only way in and out of here? Pretty sure it is. Maybe there's a cutoff through one of the grass fields. But I think, let's just assume that that's the only way in and out. For now. Right. And unfortunately, I think that means we're going to have to unload all this manually because I don't see a course play worker making it in and out of there reliably. Cool. Okay, I'm going to call it. Wait till this guy cycles the hydraulics down. All right. Beautiful. Brake is on. So I'm going to save game right here. And we're calling that the end of the episode. So what we're doing right now is sort of off camera. So let's go down to the store and take a look at that Richard Weston, because I'm a bit perplexed. So off camera now, we're going to take out a little bit more loan. And let's see this thing, because I could have sworn is it that one? That's the west. Or is it the west? No. It is this one. That's the west, and this is the western. And the reason I'm setting it up this way is this is how I set it up when it worked. Design color. Galvanized wheel guard. Okay, so it's the silage version that is causing problems. Right. So we'll sell that. Right. And then take this off our loan. Right. And we'll save it right there. Cool. All right, folks, thanks for sticking around till the end. Thanks for joining us for another episode of The Portable Gamer and another episode of Farming Simulator 17, and we will see you next time. Take care.